Before we talk about corneal disorders, we need to understand the normal corneal layers. From front to back, the cornea includes the epithelium, Bowman's layer, stroma, Descemet's membrane, and the endothelium. The stroma provides structural strength, while the endothelium acts as a metabolic pump to keep the cornea dehydrated and clear. Damage to different layers produces different disease patterns and determines which surgical reconstruction technique is needed. Corneal dystrophies are typically inherited autosomal dominant disorders that create deposits within the corneal layers and distort incoming light. Many begin around early adulthood and progressively impair vision. Endothelial dysfunction can lead to corneal edema and painful bullous keratopathy when blisters rupture. High-yield NCLEX point, persistent edema, and blurred vision are major signs of worsening endothelial disease. Keratoconus and Fuchs dystrophy affect different parts of the cornea. Keratoconus is an anterior structural disorder where the cornea thins and bulges forward, causing irregular astigmatism and progressive blurred vision. Fuchs dystrophy is a posterior endothelial disorder where endothelial cell loss causes fluid accumulation and corneal edema. Remember, keratoconus equals protrusion and distortion, while Fuchs equals endothelial failure and edema. Keratoconus usually begins around puberty, progresses over many years, and is managed initially with rigid gas-permeable lenses to correct irregular astigmatism. Severe disease may require penetrating keratoplasty. Fuchs dystrophy typically appears after age 50 and causes progressive corneal edema, blurred vision, and bullous keratopathy. Definitive treatment for advanced Fuchs is corneal transplantation. High-yield distinction. Keratoconus is a thinning disorder, while Fuchs is an endothelial pump failure disorder. Initial management focuses on preserving corneal structure and improving vision. Rigid gas-permeable lenses are used in keratoconus to correct irregular astigmatism and delay surgery. In Fuchs dystrophy, bandage contact lenses protect exposed corneal nerves and reduce pain from bullous keratopathy. Hypertonic sodium chloride drops or ointments help pull fluid out of the cornea and decrease epithelial edema. Phototherapeutic keratectomy, or PTK, uses laser therapy to smooth the anterior corneal surface and remove opacities to improve functional vision. A major contraindication is active herpetic keratitis, because ultraviolet laser exposure can reactivate the virus. Complications include induced hyperopia, stromal haze, bacterial keratitis, and delayed reepithelialization, especially in diabetic patients. Post-op care includes pain control, antibiotic and corticosteroid therapy, protective lenses or patches, and long-term monitoring. Successful corneal transplantation depends heavily on proper donor tissue screening. Donor tissue is excluded for systemic infections, high HIV risk, hepatitis, rabies, and Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Ocular exclusions include active inflammation, malignant tumors, and disorders affecting the optical zone. High yield point. Graft success also depends on recipient factors like tear quality, blinking adequacy, and healthy conjunctival tissue. Modern keratoplasty procedures are designed to replace only the diseased corneal layers whenever possible. Penetrating keratoplasty replaces the full corneal thickness and is used for severe keratoconus, scarring, and major corneal damage. ALK and DALK preserve Descemet's membrane and the endothelium, making them useful for keratoconus. DSEK and posterior lamellar procedures replace only the endothelial layer and are commonly used for Fuchs dystrophy and bullous keratopathy, offering faster recovery and lower rejection risk. Penetrating keratoplasty is a full-thickness corneal transplant that requires long-term rehabilitation and monitoring. Patients typically remain on corticosteroid therapy for up to 12 months, with sutures often staying in place for 12 to 18 months before selective removal. Early complications include infection, elevated intraocular pressure, and poor donor tissue function, while late complications include graft rejection and graft failure. High yield point. Acute eye pain after PKP is abnormal and requires immediate evaluation. When repeated donor grafts fail, an artificial corneal implant, or keratoprosthesis, may be considered as a salvage procedure. These devices are reserved for severe corneal disease, with multiple prior graft failures. Patients require extremely close long-term follow-up because complication rates are high. Key risks include secondary glaucoma and endophthalmitis, which is a severe intraocular infection. This slide connects the pathology to the correct surgical approach. Keratoconus is an anterior corneal disorder, so DALK preserves the patient's healthy endothelium while replacing diseased anterior layers. Fuchs Dystrophy is a posterior endothelial disorder, so DSEK replaces only the damaged endothelial layer while preserving the anterior cornea. High-yield takeaway. Modern layer-specific procedures reduce rejection risk, improve wound strength, decrease post-op astigmatism, and speed visual recovery compared to full-thickness PKP. Visual recovery after corneal transplantation is slow and occurs over many months. Early care focuses on compliance with follow-up appointments and medication regimens. Around 6 months, corticosteroids are gradually tapered while monitoring for rejection or complications. Final stabilization may take 12 to 18 months, and many patients still require corrective lenses even after successful transplantation. These are the major warning signs of possible graft rejection or graft failure: sudden blurred vision, unexplained discomfort, excessive tearing, and scleral redness all require urgent ophthalmology evaluation. Treatment escalates quickly with intensive topical corticosteroids, periocular steroid injections, and sometimes systemic immunosuppressants. High yield point. Early recognition and rapid intervention are critical to saving the graft. Corneal disorders ultimately disrupt the eye's ability to properly focus and transmit light. Keratoconus causes anterior corneal thinning and irregular astigmatism, while Fuchs dystrophy causes endothelial failure and corneal edema. Initial treatment may include rigid gas-permeable lenses, hypertonic therapy, or bandage lenses, but advanced disease often requires corneal transplantation. High-yield takeaway. Match the surgery to the diseased corneal layer. Monitor closely for graft rejection using the RSVP warning signs: redness, sensitivity or discomfort, vision changes, and pain or tearing. And remember that visual rehabilitation after transplantation may take many months.